Well, hey folks, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to do a transition with an offset in it for a hookup on a unit to existing ductwork. Okay, what we have is a transition offset for putting in a new unit to the existing ductwork, and the offset is 4 inches. The way you figure out your offset is you find a standard stationary item, such as like maybe a wall, and you measure from the wall to this point, and then you measure again from the wall to this point, and then you subtract the 2 measurements, and that tells you what your offset is. Don't try to hold it with some object, because you're not going to be accurate, because you're going to be too far in, too far out. Find something stationary, measure off that stationary point to here, and to here to this point, subtract the 2, and that tells you what your offset is. So our offset is 4 inches. Our canvas connection to our unit is 14.5 by 16, minus the length of the canvas to the length to the existing ductwork. That leaves 11.5 inches, and we got to go up 11.5 inches to meet a 16 by 16 square. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is lay out a 1/4 inch right here. That's going to be the start of our Pittsburgh flange on the top. I'll go ahead and draw out a 1 inch line. And by the way, I have already cut this piece of metal for our height and length. Okay, so starting up here at a 1/4 inch working line, we want to go in 16 inches from that. 16 inches at the top. Okay, so that's our opening. 16 inches, add a 1/4 inch for our flange. This is a 1/4 inch. See, I'm working off, my measurement is right here on my 1/4 inch working line, not on the edge at the working line. All right, so now I'm going to come back down, and this is where I get my 4 inches for my offset. All right, from this working line, 4 inches. Okay, that's the start of my opening. Now back it up 1/4 inch, and that'll get me my flange. Be my flange connection right there. All right, then I'm going to come over here and go 14.5 from the opening mark. 14.5. Put down my mark right there. I don't know if you guys can see very well. I move down here and then add a 1/4 inch to my 14.5 right there. Okay, so there's my 1/4 inch flanges right there. Now, got to draw my lines now. Move you guys over here a little bit. So we're going to go from the inside line to our inside line right here, right at our working line. That's what we're lining up right there. So draw a line, move it out, catch our flange. Okay. All right, there's our flange right there, 1/4 inch flange. Okay, same thing over here. Inside to inside. Right there. Right. And then we go to our outside edge. There, where our line is. To our line. Right there. Scratch in our mark, and there's our 1/4 inch right there. Be sure you get a marker and put some type of mark so you'll know which the top is. Because after you spin this thing around a few times, your offset here, 4 inch, might be over here. Because our offset over here is not as much as this. We don't care what this offset is. We only care about our 4 inch offset that we measured from the beginning. So now we just need to cut it out. Okay, got our metal. I'm gonna put us a cross break in here. So what I do is I go across like this, put a little slight bend in it, like that. Probably should have went a little harder, but I'm going from this corner to that corner and this corner to that corner. Alright, there's our cross break right there. That keeps everything from popping when the blower motor comes on. A lot of air coming through that transition piece. Alright, line everything up on the 1/4 inch mark right there. Lock it down, bend it. Flip it over and get our 1/4 inch mark right here. That look good. Bend it 90 degrees. There. It's our 4 inch offset. All right. It's time to measure up our front and our back. That's 16 inches wide. So we got to measure these lengths and find out how long they got to be. Obviously this one's going to be longer than the one in the back. Well, let's start on that. Okay, so I went ahead and measured the distance of our side pieces, and our back is going to be a length of 12 inches, a 16 by 12. And our front piece is going to be 12 3/8 by 16. All right, so I went ahead and I've already got those cut out, and we're going to take them over here to the Pittsburgh machine and put our Pittsburgh in, and then we'll cross break it and put it together. All right. Okay, I got my front and rear pieces made up. I just want to show you guys this Pittsburgh groove. See that flange or that Pittsburgh seam? We got a flange that goes down in that. And here's our flange. See how that's bent over? And that goes down into our lock like that. And then once we get it in there, we got this flap on top. That's what we're hammering over, and that secures it right into place. Okay, as y'all can see, that we're kind of pitching out and in, and we got to square that up. We got to have a 16 by 16 up here on the front, on the top. On the top, we got to have a 16 by 16. So we take our folding bar and we fold it in just a little bit. Might be a little too much. And this here, we need to kick it back a little bit. After we get that folded out, we wanted 16 across the top. You see we got 16 there. We got 16 there. There's always room for a little bit of play. 16 there, which we can pull that out. That's 16. And 16. Not a problem. Oop, hang on. Now, we gotta get 14. So we bend this out a little bit. Bend this one in a little. All right. So 14 and a half. Close enough. May have to make just an adjustment. A little tweak here and there. 14 and a half there by 16. 16. Pull that out a little bit when our S-lock gets on there. It'll be 16. So there you go. So there you go, guys. That's your 4-inch offset transition from canvas unit to existing ductwork. A 16 by 16 on the existing ductwork, a 14 and a half by 16 canvas on the unit. 11.5 inches high and a 4-inch offset. If you like this video, why don't you go ahead and give me a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more, just comment down below and let me know. Thanks for watching. And just remember, if I can do it, you can do it. See you next time.